folks, we talk a lot about the wind because even yesterday it was treacherous, but at least it was a lot more consistent than it has been today. I mean, I keep watching the windsock here on top of the pylon, and it's just swirling from going from due west to northwest from right out of the north.
And let's put this in perspective here real quickly. When you go along, you're taking off an airplane, a commercial airplane, you're going along the runway at 160 miles an hour. The airplane rotates and lifts off the ground. If you've got a side wind, you realize how much of wind there is out there because the plane's moving around and you're not very comfortable with it, and the wings tip and what have you. We're doing 220 miles an hour with gusting winds at 15 to 20 to 25. That moves you around a fair amount.
There's a picture of the windsock, and you can just see how it's changing direction constantly. Meanwhile, the man who's on the bubble, Buddy Lazier, is with Vince Welch.
Buddy Lazier, you find yourself well, you've been to victory lane here, and now you find yourself on the bubble. Can you give somebody an idea of what it's like to have to wait to see if you're going to have to bump your way back into this field?
Well, I think we're planning on bumping our way back in. We're just, you know, we had the latest start with our race car. We just started late, and these are a great bunch of guys. They've been working really hard. I have a lot of faith in them, and you know, the track changed too just when we got started. So, you know, it's a challenge. It's a very uncomfortable day for everybody, but you know, it's a good car and a good team, and we'll see what we can do.
You know, this is the remnants of the team that took you to victory lane in the Indy 500. How important is the chemistry that you've got with this Hemmelgarn-Johnson operation?
I think when you start with one day of practice and everybody's had a month, you got to have familiar. You know, having a familiar group helps a lot. You don't have to learn each other, but you know, it's still a battle. We started late, and you know, uncomfortable day.
All right, you're going to have to watch Marty Roth is getting ready to try and bump you out of the field.
And my apologies, Jack. Of course, that was Jack Arute with Buddy Lazier. And look at the eyes of Marty Roth. Not focusing on any one single thing, just trying to...
He's rerunning it in his head. He's doing it over and over and over again, telling himself, when I turn into one, remember what the wind was like. Don't forget to adjust the car. There's a lot of things going into his head. On a day like this, it's not just about going out and keeping your foot flat on the throttle. There's a lot of things to do. Just like Scott said with an airplane. You just don't point it down the runway, turn the engines on. It's a big effort today.
Meanwhile, Buddy Lazier sits back down, back in the garage area, and waiting for the official word. I thought that they were going to fire this car up and get going.
They always do a track inspection before the first qualifying car goes out after there's been cars running on the track for practice, so I'm sure that they're just waiting for word of that. But looking inside the helmet, it's almost like, I think I can, I think I can.
Or if I don't, I'm not going to be here.
Vince?
Just waiting for the official word from Brian Barnhart for Marty Roth to pull out. It's interesting that this Roth racing team is now managed by Larry Curry, and Larry Curry's son Matt Curry was the engineer on that Anthony Foyt car that bumped Roth from the field. So it's certainly been interesting from that regard. Son's car bumping dad's car out of the show, and now of course Marty Roth trying to get back in. This team has put forth unbelievable hours, man hours, to get ready. There's a shot of Larry Curry as he sits with Margaret Roth, the wife of Marty Roth. Brian Hornick, the chief mechanic, stayed here all night on Friday night getting this car ready to go on Saturday. They made major changes, and that was at the suggestion both of John Andretti and also Larry Curry. So this is a team that has made major investment in this season to run a two-car effort the entire season long, and so much rides on them making the Indianapolis 500.
And we did get word, Vince, while you were talking, the reason the track inspection took so long is because of the wind. They're going to be taking a little bit longer time out there to make sure that every potential piece of debris has been picked up. So here is Marty Roth, the two warm-up laps. Ooh, lifted big there going into one.
He's just got to calm himself down, and he's got a car that can do it, and he is capable of doing it. Now he's just got to put everything in place for these next 4 laps. So really just a question of taking one big, deep breath of air and forgetting about everything else and just riding it through. Saddle up. Time to go.
40 seconds a lap. I don't think you can hold your breath that long for 4 laps.
You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. Take a deep breath of air and just hold on. 40 seconds a lap. I don't think you can hold your breath that long for 4 laps. You'd be amazed. Take a deep breath of air and just hold on. 40 seconds a lap. I don't think you can hold your breath that long for 4 laps. You'd be amazed. Take a deep breath of air and just hold on.
Okay, well, we can remember back to A.J. Foyt IV's run, and the telemetry showed us he'd never lifted, but remember, he had a lot more downforce in the car. They admitted that. Here we go. He's on the green flag into turn 1.
A lot of room coming out. He's still getting up to speed.
It sounds like he was fairly on the throttle there, so that's good for him. And, you know, Marty started his racing career off on motorcycles and races throughout the country, including places like Daytona, then got up to Formula Fords, the Formula 2000, and Indy Lights, and took about 12 years off of racing just to get an opportunity to build his business, and then came back to motor racing in the Indy Lights before he's now moved up to the Indy cars full time. So he's really living a dream.
Lap tracker shows that he is in the green, which means he's ahead of Buddy Lazier's pace. First lap, 2:19.2. That's the fastest he has gone today. He practiced at 2:18, and lap tracker has him higher in the green.
What an awesome run. He's doing it. He's really doing it. He's got to keep this pace up. He's actually improving.
That's, as you said, sitting up in the saddle, standing up in the saddle. I mean, we both know what that's like right now, but the pressure is on him right now, not only from a driver, but Eddie, you are a driver and team owner. It's also the pressure as an owner, because he's the guy that's the sponsor that's writing the checks right now.
I don't really think he's thinking about that right now, but he's got to keep this pace up. So it's obviously not an easy day, and there's still time to make a mistake. He's just got to keep doing what he's doing, and he will make it well into the show.
Second lap, 2:19.055. So Larry Curry and Aldo Andretti right behind him looking on. They have a monitor that they can see, the vision screen here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And he told Marty, according to Vince, 2:18's the number. We got to be above 2:18. He's well above 2:18.
He's having a perfect run. That's actually faster, I believe, than he ran this morning.
It is. Both laps so far. And Buddy Lazier knows that if nothing else happens, he's going to be bumped out of this field. Down the front straightaway, here will be lap number 3, still well into the green on lap tracker. The speed for lap number 3, 2:18.358. That drops the average down to 2:18.870.
3 corners to go.
This is where your mind can start to play tricks on you. If you felt something with the car, are you going to take your foot off the gas or just sort of keep on with it? And right now, he's got to do that. He's got to make sure perfect entry, get down to the apex, and just keep the speed up.
Well, the gear change that Vince Welch and the crew talked about obviously has paid some dividends as he's into the north chute, coming through turn 4 for the last time, and still well above the green zone that will bump Buddy Lazier from the field. Here comes the checkered flag. And the final lap comes across at 2:19.2. So his 4-lap average, 2:18.965. And Marty Roth is back into the field. And that means that Buddy Lazier, there in the upper right of your screen, is going to have to bump his way back in. And now the man on the bubble is Roger Yasukawa. He qualified yesterday at 2:18.010.